Did you hear? We're getting like 17 orders for our product every day. So how are we going to manufacture all of this? Let's go check the kanban cards. Kanban. K-A-N-B-A-N. Kanban. We are bringing the Japanese language into this podcast because kanban is a Japanese word that literally means sign or billboard, but in terms of engineering, it refers to an important system or methodology that organizes and optimizes the manufacturing process. Or more generally, it organizes and optimizes the creation process. So if you got to create a car or create software or create a business or create a better personal life, well, you can try to use the kanban system. Now, how does all that work? Kanban, like I said, it means sign. And when you talk about kanban in terms of these processes, it often means that you're going to involve some kind of card. Maybe it's a physical card. Maybe it's a physical piece of paper that has important information on it. Or it's digital, whatever. But we'll imagine paper. And you can think of any manufacturing process or creation process. There might be a whole bunch of steps along the way. Like if you get an order for 17 automobiles and you're an automobile maker, well, you can imagine that there's a step for creating the tires and creating the engine block and creating the chassis and then assembling things together and then testing it and all that stuff. Well, there is a card at every one of those steps telling each individual worker at that step how many parts they need to make or how many times they have to do a particular task and when to do it. It just makes everything real simple. It tells you, what do I need to make? How much of it do I need to make? When does it have to be done? And so this system, I guess that's a real simplification of it, but it's about organizing every step into simple tasks, breaking down a large task into a bunch of little ones. And it's also about not overloading yourself or your team. Like if you have only 5 people on your software development team, you don't want to put, all 100 tasks on everyone right now. You divide it up, obviously. And you also think about what depends on what. Just like in creating a car, maybe you have to order the rubber first and get the hubcaps made before you can assemble the tires. And you have to get the 4 tires before you can attach it to the chassis. And you got to get the chassis ready before you, insert the engine block. So there's a sequence there. Just like when you create software, there's probably a sequence of events you got to follow. And the kanban, or the cards at every step, help you understand what those tasks are really simply. Maybe they're Post-it notes or whatever. And you can organize those Post-it notes in a sequence. And again, if you have 5 people on your team, you save a bunch of those Post-it notes and save a bunch of those tasks for the beginning. You only do, 5 at a time. Each person has their number of kanban to deal with. And when they're done with their tasks, they put it in the done pile and they pick up another card, another kanban that tells the team exactly what he or she has to do, how many times, and by when it should be finished. So kanban organizes the creation of stuff. It helps break down complexity and it limits the amount of work we do at one time. I'm no expert on this, but it is kind of cool. The specific way that you look at kanban differs depending on what industry you're in, but suffice it to say, it's real popular and it's all about creating things that you need without wasting time. You don't just guess at what you have to do at different times. You know exactly what you have to make and you know exactly when it has to be done, and that's the power of kanban. That's our engineering word of the day, kanban. Hey, this is Pius Wong, your host of the Engineering Word of the Day podcast and your resident engineer. I also host a second podcast called the K-12 Engineering Education Podcast, and that's all about bringing engineering thinking to young people, old people, everybody. Go on over to k12engineering.net, that's a website, and you can listen to other podcasts too. Thanks.